We're at the final season of The Good Doctor. Let's go back though and talk about how you initially became a part of this series and maybe what attracted you to this role of Jordan Allen.
Yes, we are in season 7, the final season. It's a lot of different thoughts and emotions that's coming with it. But during this time, I'm definitely thinking about the beginning. During the pandemic, 2020, I just remember getting off of Mrs. America and the premiere of that show on Hulu. And that was just exciting. That was my very first professional TV professional gig. And then it was like, what's next? But then the pandemic shut the world down, and a lot of loss, a lot of shifting in everyone's lives in some sort of way. But I remember there were a few auditions coming through the pipeline, and I got this breakdown that I usually don't get. I'm a plus size dark skinned actress in this industry. And so that definitely limits how the industry sees you,
Sure.
especially the kind of roles and the roles that come our way, like the kind of roles that we even are like, hey, we can actually audition for this. The breakdowns are not always favorable. They don't always reflect the range that we can do. And I remember getting this breakdown that said she was full figure and confident. And usually they don't put that in the same sentence for breakdowns. And so I was like, oh. And then I kept reading. She's a devout Baptist, and she has a big family, and she's fashionable. She loves fashion. She loves money. She's an entrepreneur. She's an innovator. And I was like, okay, this sounds like me in some sort of way. And I remember reading the breakdowns and just seeing this fierce Black woman in the sides. And I was immediately drawn to the role and just excited for what the show was going to bring. That was very different from what the show had in the previous seasons. And so I auditioned, and I remember putting it on tape. My friend, one of my closest friends, coached me on it. I felt great about it. And then I got like the callback for it. And so I'm in this session with the casting director and producers, and I'm thinking, okay, this feels good. And I remember the casting director just giving me a thumbs up. And I was like, oh, I got this. Like there was something that came over me that I was like, I think I got this part. And then like one of the showrunners followed me on Twitter like a day after, and I was like, oh, I
That's a
absolutely
sign.
got
That's a
this
sign.
part.
I got the
It took forever for me to get the actual like real like official call, but I knew like maybe a week before I got the call that I got the part. And then I was guaranteed 5 episodes in the beginning with potential to keep coming back. And then 5 episodes, I remember just packing like one suitcase to come to Vancouver. We filmed there, and 5 episodes turned into 16, so 2 months of work
like,
turned
y'all send me some clothes.
right? Like hello, I'm running out of sweats. So yeah, it's been a journey. And 4 years later, it's crazy. It went by very fast, I think. Slow and fast.
There's such an amazing ensemble cast to the show. Were you excited to work with someone or someones in particular?
I remember in undergrad when I went to Spelman College in Atlanta, Georgia, I was always watching Bates Motel. Like I randomly like came across it one day, and then some late nights after doing homework or a long day of school, I would be like laying in my bed on my laptop just watching Bates Motel and really enjoying Freddie's work. And beyond that, Christina Chong, who's also a UW alum just like me, I went 20 years later after her, and it's kind of like a full circle moment. It was great to work with a fellow Husky. And yeah, I think the cast is great, and they've all like just been a really fun to play with, and also fun to kind of call like friends and family outside of the show as well too.
What kind of studying or shadowing did you do before taking on Dr. Jordan Allen?
Not much. I don't think her character really called for a lot of like outside research because she was so close to me and so close to home. And, I have been blessed to be raised by a beautiful woman who I just lost a couple months ago, and my mom. And so women like my mom, women like my Aunt Pam, women like that in my life are who I kind of like grab and hold on to when it comes to Jordan. So she was so close to home, so kind of close to a lot of the qualities that I have in myself that I just got to kind of really play, just dig deeper into that. yeah, yeah.
Do you have any favorite episodes you've worked on or moments that you're most proud of from filming the series?
Oh, that's a good question. I feel like most proud of I feel like the episode we just did, I just filmed it 2 days ago. I got to do something that I haven't been able to do on the show. Noah Galvin is a Broadway star and beautiful voice, and so a lot of singing moments have always been given to him on the show, which is like rightfully so. I get it, but there's a moment in an episode, I don't want to give it away, but Jordan gets to sing. And not only do I get to sing, I got to kind of co-write some verses with another castmate. And we got to go to an actual studio and record the track from start to finish. And we got to perform it in front of the cast. The cast hadn't heard the song yet. And just that moment of us first performing it was so amazing because I'm also a spoken word poet. I do sing. And so it was great bringing other aspects of my artistry to this role. I didn't think I would be able to get to have a moment like that on the show. And so I think that's my highlight. I don't know. It was just fun and I just felt free and I felt like a real artist in that moment.
Very full circle and very well deserved. Oh my goodness, I can't wait for that one. Okay. So I know the show is in its final episodes. What were your thoughts when you found out that this would be the last season?
There were a lot of thoughts happening. A lot of life has been happening as well outside the show for me. So my mind has been everywhere. And so it just feels like a lot of endings are happening. I lost my mom in January of this year. And so I got the news 2 days after she passed. So it was just a lot of thoughts. And, it's weird like now with grief and how I'm kind of trying to cope with that while also just trying to stay present and finish this job. Endings have a different meaning for me. They're bittersweet is just too surface of a term to say. It's a lot of different moments. It's just like, oh, it's ending and you feel sad, but then I'm really excited for the future. The type of artist that I want to be, I haven't yet been able to showcase that to the world. So with this ending, it is also signifying a beautiful beginning for me and other artists on this show. And I'm just excited, grateful for the time, grateful for the moment, sad about a lot of experiences I've had to experience with the show, but excited and just very humbled, I guess, in totality.
Have you thought of how you're going to celebrate, mourn a little bit for the
Mhm.
show when the final episode comes out?
I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I know the final episode comes out later in like the year, mid-year, but we wrap April 5th. So I wrap in a couple weeks and if anything, I just want to be present. I don't want to pre-plan anything. I want to breathe. I want to be able to exhale when this is done, like really take a deep breath and really come back to myself. I haven't been able to really sit with myself. When you're working network TV, it's a machine, it's like a train, and either you stay on or you fall off. And I've been doing my best to stay on the train until the end because my dad always said, always finish what you start. And so that is the plan, to finish what I start and finish it in the best way and the best way I know how to show up. So I don't know. I'm just gonna meet April 5th as present as I can.
Mhm. Are there any mementos you plan on taking with you or started taking? Obviously, your chair back is important to you.
Yes, my chair back. Crazy thing is, my first season, I had a chair back, and I remember taking that home, and I left it at home, like maybe during Christmas break or something. I remember coming back home to like my childhood bedroom, and my dad had like hung it on the wall, and so it's still up there on the wall. And every time I see it, I just like crack up, laugh. I'm like, could you do? It just shows how proud they are. Definitely my chair back. Definitely some hair pieces, maybe some makeup because the makeup and the hair is not cheap, and if I could just slide that into my purse, I will.
I will see what I can do to distract anyone you need me to.
Right. Just get right in that car and go home.
Oh, look, over there's some sort of medical emergency that we need doctors.
And if
Doctors for.
someone hits me up, I've changed my number. I'm done.
What has this meant to you to be a part of such a phenomenal series, something that's gotten 7 seasons worth of airs?
Seasons is not an easy feat, and I'm really proud and happy for Freddie Highmore to do something. I'm inspired by just what he's been able to accomplish at such a young age, and I hope to one day do that myself. Someone else asked me that question, like the kind of legacy, and I think legacy is very important to me, and it's something that's been like hitting me even more to the core, that I really do want to leave a lot of footprints in the sand. And when my time is done, when it's time for me to go to see God, I want people or artists to look at me, young Black women to look at me and see what I've done and say I can do it, or use my path as some kind of roadmap for them to find their own pathway. And so I think Good Doctor just is a it's a metaphor for this like book that I'm writing of my life, of the legacy of Bria. And the Good Doctor is the first sentence that I've been able to write down for chapter 1. And I'm excited and really grateful that I get to put a period behind it. And I keep writing. So yeah.
What's next for you? Do you have plans yet, or are you just taking things one step at a time?
I'm taking things one step at a time. I'm also very, very ambitious, very much a go-getter. I'm really excited for what's next. There's nothing set in stone, but during this time and while I was on Good Doctor, I was able to executive produce, write, and star in my own short called Virginality, about the chronicles of a 30-year-old navigating her virginity, but also kind of, dipping her toes into promiscuity in some shape or form. It's a dark comedy. It's kind of loosely based on my life. And so I was able to make the short. It did well during the festivals. It's now streaming on a Black-owned streaming service called Quelly TV, so you can check it out. But I'm excited to develop that into a feature or a series wherever God leads me. And then I'm just excited to one day have my own show. I can't wait to have my own show one day. I'm so excited. And I feel like the lessons that I've learned, the experiences that I've had on this show, have only just equipped me for that moment, for that moment. Yeah.
Will you be performing your spoken word or any music maybe in the near future?
So after this music moment on the show, I'm kind of like, I was dabbling around with creating an EP last summer just for fun. I'm an artist, so when I get to just kind of get something out creatively, it's just like a release. But I think I might actually put out an EP and just see. And then the spoken word, yes, I've been writing, still writing, and I want to come out with a poetry book one day. That is a big goal of mine as well. So I'll get to have the time and space to kind of dabble in that and then see who snatches me next.
All right, well, sign me up for a copy first. I'm more than happy to support the wonderful work
Oh
you
yeah.
have.
Yes, thank you.
I'm gonna
Thank
get the
you.
EP and I'm gonna get the book. So gotta support you, Bria. Take good care of you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's so
Always
kind.
looking out for good souls, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
What would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the incredible work you do on our screen?
Thank you. I mean, it's very humbling. You as an artist, you're always in your head, you're your worst critic. And then when you pop on like the internet, sometimes the internet can be nice. And a lot of the feedback I've been getting from people that look like me, from other women from real Black women doctors, it's just warmed my heart. And it's always just rooted me again in my purpose and why I do this. And it's to represent women that look like me, to show a different side of us, to show all sides, the beautiful, the ugly, the chaotic, and just to leave a mark behind. And it's been great having people really root for Jordan or have opinions about Jordan or be affected by Jordan in some kind of way, because that means that I'm doing something, and that's what it means for me. So just thank you to all the fans. Thank you for rocking with us for 7 years. Thank you for inviting me into your homes season 4 and welcoming me in and liking me enough, and I got to stay. And so I'm grateful. It has changed my life in different ways, and it's a huge stepping stone for what's to come, and I will forever be grateful for this beginning moment. And I'm glad that I got to do it on ABC.